Hello YouTube, welcome to another video brought to you by the Manoa Medieval Combat Club. By now you've seen the videos I did for a basic Boffer club and a basic Boffer sword. And so this video we're going to do a sort of more advanced Boffer sword. Now this is not like a do exactly as I do, this is the only right way. This is more demonstrating advanced or just different techniques for how to make Boffer swords. Okay, so for example, I have this. This is another one that I made in that sort of similar style. You see that it's a curved blade, and so since this side is the only one that's supposed to hit people, I put most of the padding here and didn't put as much padding here, you know, just in case you hit on the back by accident. But the technique is still basically the same. It's still sort of a sandwich. I've got two, you know, one of these on either side and then one of these on either side to sort of box the core in, and then the blade on the outside. Versus this sword, which follows the same technique, but if you'll notice, this one is about twice as thick as this one. So what I'm making is another one of these, or well, one like it. I'm not going to make one exactly like it because I want to do a few things different. So as a bonus to this video, I'm also going to be making a holster. It's not really a sheath for the sword, it's a holster, because it doesn't sheath the whole sword. And so I've got two different ones you can notice here. It slides onto the belt there, and then there are two different styles of putting it on. I made this one first, and I made this one second because I actually like this design better, so I'll probably make another one of these. But this is an option. And so when you put this on, it hooks on the ricasso and locks under the holster so that you can kind of shift and run around. It won't just fall out. And then to pull it out, all you do is twist it a little bit, and you can pull it out. For this one hangs like this, and you put it in like that, and then to draw it, you kind of have to, you just really pull it right out. But we'll get to those later. Okay, so we're going to have a guard, a ricasso, you know, a blade, a handle, obviously, and a pommel. So to make a more advanced sword, you're going to need a core. I'm using a 1/2-inch fiberglass rod. I've also used golf clubs, like the shaft of the golf club. The only downside is with those, they break, depending on how you make them and what you do to them. If you don't have access to fiberglass rods and don't mind it breaking eventually, then that works. You just cut the head off, cut it to whatever length you need, and then you basically do everything we'll go over in this video. I've already marked out where my 1 inch for the pommel, 5 inches for the handle, 2 inches, this is where my guard is going to go, and then my ricasso is going to be about 3 inches. So I've got like 11 inches for the blade, but when I do the foam, there's going to add another inch with the core foam, and then I'm going to add more to the blade. So it's actually going to be closer to 13.5 inches, I think. So, core. For the handle, you can use these cheap chopsticks. And actually, I don't have another set of these chopsticks, so I cut myself out a little piece of wood, like that, to kind of act as another thing. Or if you just have scrap wood, you can just cut out a small piece like that. Knife, I'm going to use this nylon, but this is 550 cord you can use, or you can use tie line, and that's just to bulk up the handle. Scissors, hot glue gun, DAP, contact cement, measuring device, straight edge, our old friends, camp mat and yoga mat, which I've already cut my blade strips out of, electric tape for the final wrap outside the handle, Sharpie, and towel foam. As you can probably see, I've already marked out where I'm going to cut these pieces out of, and if you notice, they're not even, right? So this is a little wider here, and this is a little thinner, and then, but at the top here it's a little thinner, and at the bottom here it's a little fatter. That's because I'm going to cut these pieces out and then flip them over so that they match up, and that's going to give a little bit of a taper to the blade, just a very little one. But what I want to do is when I use the DAP, I'm going to DAP this side because duct tape adheres to this side a little bit better. Actually, let me demonstrate that. So this duct tape, when I put it down like that, I just kind of just kind of comes off easy. And if I put the duct tape here, like that, it has a little bit more fight to it to pull. You'll notice I've got different duct tapes here, and they're for varying finishes. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my chopsticks and or wood. I'm going to measure out 5 inches because that's what I have for my handle. Take your utility knife, just push into it. I like to go all the way around. Okay, and it comes off clean like that. Or you can take a hacksaw or a hand saw, regular saw. Take your hot glue gun, put some glue on. Okay, flip it over and do the same thing. And for this I'm going to use a clamp because the wood is a little bent. Okay, so I'll do that for a second. I'm going to put the hot glue gun away. We'll need the hot glue gun later, but it doesn't need to be running right now. So while this is going, I've already drawn out my pieces for my guard. This one is 4.5 inches. These two are 5 inches, and that's because I'm going to cut this one down the middle, and this is going to be the centerpiece. That's going to go around the core. And then these two are going to be the bread on the sandwich. So I'm going to cut these out. If you're wondering about the shape of the guard, it's just sort of how it happened. I found the center, and this is measured out. This is 1.25 inches because that's the base of my core foam. I measured 1/2 inch down because I cut this piece at an angle so that when I lay my core foam, it'll come down and match up at that angle. That gives it a little more contact than butting like this. Laying it over gives it a little more contact, and also it gives more room here so that overall, when I go to block, or if I, it gives the foam a little more strength as a guard. And so I measured 1/2 inch down, and then it basically just went to 0 on either side. Then I found, the line across, and then went up that at a 30-degree angle, I think, on both sides. And that's just how that shape came out. You can make yours however you want. So now that this is cooled down, I'm going to take my Dremel, and this part isn't necessary. You can do it if you want to. I'm going to because I can. But you can use like a sander, or you can just use, sandpaper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to round out these corners just so that when I wrap it, it is a little more round and not so boxy. So, nice and rounded out. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dap up the guard and then this part of my core, and then I'm going to set it to dry, and while I do that I'm going to do other stuff. First thing I'm going to do is take the dap, okay, set. I'm going to set a timer for 14 minutes and we'll be back. Slash cut. Get it? It's like smash cut, but slash cut because you get it. So this video ran a little long, so I had to cut it up into little bits. So I hope you enjoyed this bit because it's over. And maybe go check out the next bit. And if there's no next bit just yet, maybe go check out some of my other videos. Maybe watch those in the meantime. Thanks for watching. So like, subscribe, all that stuff, and comment, all that fun stuff. So